have concealed. في هذه الآية ينادي الله عز وجل آدم. In this ayah, Allah Ta'ala calls Adam. وسياق الآية وما قبلها and the sequence of the ayah and what is before it كان في خلق آدم. It was about the creation of Adam. وخلق آدم خلق عجيب, and the creation of Adam is a very amazing. لأن الله عز وجل أولا أرسل الملائكة فأمرهم أن يقاتلوا سكان الأرض وهم الجن لما تمردوا وكفروا وعبدوا غير الله وسفكوا الدماء وقتل بعضهم بعضا. First of all, Allah Ta'ala sent the angels down to the earth to fight those residents of the earth who were the jinn. And that is because they caused a lot of destruction in the earth, and they worship other than Allah, and they spread the blood widely on earth, meaning killing one another for no valid reason. ثم أمر الله عز وجل الملائكة أن يأتوا معهم بشاب من شباب الجن كان ناسكا عابدا على خلاف ما كان عليه الجن. And then Allah Ta'ala commanded the angels to bring up to the heavens a young jinn who was a worshipper, not like the rest of the jinn. فأحضروه إلى السماء وأهلك الله جميع أولئك الجن. So they brought this young jinn to the heavens, and Allah destroyed all the remaining jinn. والله عز وجل يعلم ما سيكون في من هذا الشاب الجني الذي أصبح كافرا بدلا من أن يزداد إيمانه. And Allah knows best what will happen from this young jinn who became kafir but not a more believer, خصوصا وأنه رفع إلى السماء ورأى ما رأى من ملكوت الله، إلا أنه لخبيئة سيئة في نفسه كفر. Although he has seen the tremendous creation of Allah in the heavens, in the sky, but he disbelieved. Why? Because of a bad thing in his heart. A bad thing in his heart. هذا الأمر هو الكبر كما قال الله عز وجل في الآية التي تليها. And that is only the arrogance, as in the following ayah كما قال الله عز وجل قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر وكان من الكافرين. Allah Ta'ala said, and mention when and remember when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam. So they prostrated except for Iblis. He refused to fulfill the command of Allah and was arrogant. This arrogance is the cause of him being cursed forever and considered to be in the fire. And this is also the cause of all human who have arrogance in their hearts and act arrogantly with the Sharia or with the people. They will face the same punishment. إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر. He refused and was arrogant. وكان من الكافرين, and became of the disbelievers. انظر قوله تعالى وكان, and it says here in the translation and became, but it means and يعني he was from amongst the disbelievers, the jinn, but he returned back, he went back to his origin state. نعم. هو الله عز وجل يقول إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر وكان, يعني كان في الماضي, وكان بمعنى صار بعد أن أبى واستكبر, صار من الكافرين لأن هذا كفر. So he was from amongst the kafirin, his own people. He was from amongst the kafirin, and after disobeying Allah and rejecting his command, he became more kafir. نعم. كما قال الله عز وجل في سورة الكهف, as Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Kahf, وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا. And remember or mention when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam. So they prostrated except for Iblis. إلا إبليس. هناك في البقرة, there in Surah Al-Baqarah, إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر. There, except for Iblis, refused and become arrogant. هنا في سورة الكهف, here in سورة الكهف, إلا إبليس كان من الجن, يعني هذا أصله لأن الجن كفروا. So in this surah, in Surah Al-Kahf, Allah Ta'ala said, except for Iblis, he was of the jinn. Then, so the jinn were kuffar. والله عز وجل إنما أمر أن يؤخذ إلى السماء ليتم الابتلاء لآدم وذريته. And Allah Ta'ala commanded the angels to bring Iblis from the earth to the heavens only to make the test for Adam and his offspring existing and available. لأن الابتلاء لا بد أن يكون بالضد, as the trial must be with the opposite. إذن Allah Azza wa Jal, so the conclusion, Allah the Almighty قال وقلنا يا آدم. هذا أول نداء, وهذه قصة هذا النداء. نستفيد منها أن الملائكة لا يعصون الله ولا يتكبرون. So the lesson of today is the call of the Quran, the call of Allah to Adam. Allah called Adam, and we benefit from that is that the angels always obey Allah and never disobey and never be arrogant. والثاني أن سبب طرد إبليس من الجنة, أو أولا سبب رفع إبليس إلى السماء هو الابتلاء والامتحان لآدم وذريته. That the reason of raising Iblis to the heavens is to test Adam and his offsprings with Iblis. والسبب الثاني وهو أيضا سبب رئيسي, and the second reason for sending Iblis down from the heavens, أنه استكبر, that he become arrogant. أبى, رفض أمر الله, he rejected the command of Allah. واستكبر, and he become arrogant. واستعمل ألفاظا لا تليق في الخطاب أو في الحديث مع الله, and he used some terminologies when he spoke to Allah, when he spoke with Allah the Almighty. He used يعني inappropriate words. ماذا قال؟ What did he say? لما أمره الله عز وجل أن يسجد لآدم وسأله لما لم يسجد. When Allah Ta'ala asked him why he did not prostrate before Adam, when Allah asked him ماذا قال؟ ما هي حجته؟ كما في سورة الأعراف قال ما منعك ألا تسجد إذ أمرتك. انظروا الآن، ما قال ما منعك ألا تسجد لآدم هو سيدك هو خير منك، لا، قال ما منعك ألا تسجد إذ أمرتك. Allah أمرك تفعل. So Allah Ta'ala said to him, to Iblis, Allah said, what prevented you from prostrating when I commanded you? Allah did not say what prevented you from prostrating for Adam, who is better than you, who is la, or superior to you. Allah didn't say that. But Allah said, when I commanded you. فلا يجوز معصية الله. So one cannot يعني reject the command of Allah. وأيضا قال اعتذر قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. استعمل العقل في مقابل الأمر الصريح من الله، يعارض به الأمر الصريح. So he used his intellect to oppose the clear and direct command of Allah. وكل أحد استعمل عقله في رد النصوص ففيه شبه من إبليس. And everyone uses his intellect to oppose and reject the authentic verdicts of the Quran and the Sunnah, then he has a similitude with Iblis. كفانا الله وإياكم شره. May Allah protect us all from his evil. والله تعالى أعلم، وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. والآن نأخذ إن شاء الله الأسئلة.
أحسن الله عليك وبارك فيك يا شيخ. For all the others, inshallah ta'ala, we will open up the chat box now so you can ask your questions. لكن شيخ, there's some questions still from yesterday.
أنا عندي سؤال من أحد الأطفال المتابعين لنا، هو أرسل قال يعني ما يريد سؤالهم. طيب، هو من بريطانيا.
تفضل.
طيب. There is a young lad texted me today a question. He said yesterday he was watching the talk, but he couldn't ask his question. And his question is really, really beneficial. He asked saying, can we make dua in other than Arabic language? He said in English, but let me make it more
wider.
يعني in other than English. The ulama have different opinions in regard to the dua in salah, inside the salah, like in your sujood, like any other dua. They say, some of the ulama say that in salah you only use Arabic language, and if you don't know, you just use the dua, even if it is small and limited, that you know in Arabic. And outside salah, all the ulama agreed that it's permissible to use whatever language, with the condition that you don't know Arabic, but you do not use other language while you know Arabic. It's not necessarily to be an Arab, but if you can't say that dua in Arabic, then you have to say it in Arabic. Especially if the dua is of the Quran or the Sunnah. You better say it in the language it was made in, because it's from the Quran and the Sunnah. But other than that, you can use the language you want if you don't know the dua in Arabic. Wallahu a'lam.
Barakallah fik ya Shaykh. A question here from yesterday. It says, when I was younger, my mother had wealth in her bank account. So when I was younger, my mother had my wealth in her bank account, which she did not pay zakah for. it has been nearly 20 years, and I have come to know now that I need to pay zakat on this wealth for the last 20 years. However, I cannot find the documents online that go back the last few years, let alone 20 years, to calculate how much I need to pay. I know I can go to the bank, but due to my current situations, I cannot. So in this case, am I excused or am I falling into sin for not paying this zakah? Barakallahu fi.
First of all, if there is a sin, it wouldn't be upon you. It would be upon your watcher, your mother, who put the money in the account without paying the zakah of it. But to free your mother and yourself from the questioning on the day of resurrection, why not paying the zakah? The best thing is to figure out. Some ulama said you only give zakah for that year when you become aware of it, aware of the ruling of it, and like that. And it is dealt as the money lent to someone, and that person is unable to return it, and so you leave the zakah until you get it back, even after a couple of years or many years, and you give zakah of 1 year only. So if you cannot figure out, or it depends also, because the ulama said that this might consume the whole money you have, and maybe you need to put more on top. Now, that's why they say, as long as it was based on ignorance of your mother and unawareness of yours, then you give zakah of 1 year. Wallahu a'lam.
Allah yabarak fik, ya Shaykh. Second question still from yesterday. After this question, inshallah, we'll take the questions from today. But the question yesterday says, Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh Mohamed. Do you have any advice on delaying hijrah, i.e. hijrah from the non-Muslim lands to the Muslim lands, fearing poverty? So advice on delaying the hijrah, fearing poverty. So someone wants to make hijrah, but they're scared of perhaps falling into poverty by doing so, perhaps.
Now, first of all, how can one conduct hijrah today? Today there are boundaries, there are immigrations, there are passport, there are laws on the land in every country. So hijrah, with the meaning of hijrah, is not possible except for someone who is originally from a Muslim land and he has the passport of that land, or he can get the passport of that land. If this is the situation, then he must know that the ulama have differed into 2 or more than 2 opinions. One opinion say that it is mandatory upon whoever is able to migrate, but with the meaning of migration as I described, then he has to go. Otherwise, he is committing a major sin. Why they say the major sin? Because the definition of major sin is that which either the Sharia give punishment for, or threatening for, or there is a cursing for. Under cursing comes the Prophet freeing himself from the one who does such action. So they say it is a major sin. That is the first opinion. The second opinion says that whether you can have a passport of a Muslim country or not, you still need to do your best to go to a Muslim country and live amongst them. And they say that it is, if not a hijrah, at least it is staying in a safe land or a Muslim land, safe from the religious wise. The third said that it depends, as I said in the beginning before I give the three opinions. It depends. If you are someone who can perform the full hijrah, the real hijrah, meaning you get rid of all things that refer you and return you back to the land which you migrated from. For example, you are from a Muslim country and you want to do hijrah. You go back to your country if you have your passport of that country, or you can get a passport of that country. Then it's you go there. You go there. Now, and this, as I said, this uh, had two different opinions in regard to the ruling. Is it mandatory or recommended? Some ulama said mandatory because the Prophet ﷺ said it, regardless the situation in the non-Muslim land, whether your stay will help Islam there or would not help. The other scholars said if your stay in the non-Muslim land will benefit Islam or Muslims, and you are allowed to perform your worships freely, then it's okay to stay there. Based on all this, I would always recommend the Muslim to go and live in a Muslim land, whether your original country or any other Muslim country, especially if you have family, because when the kids grow there in a Muslim climate, they will absorb what is Islam in reality. Yes, I know some brothers say that we knew Islam in the West more than that in the East, but knowing is one thing and living it is other thing, ya ikhwan. Knowing is one thing and living it is other thing. As I always say in regard to knowledge, I say knowledge is like human, has two things, body and soul. The body of knowledge is the books and what is written in that. That's the body. The soul of knowledge is the result of learning these books, meaning piety, the taqwa. Now, same thing here. Uh, you say that I know and I can practice Islam much more better in the non-Muslim countries. As I hear this statement, I'm not saying if in term of it never happened, but it may happen. La, it happened. People said that we in the non-Muslim land know about Islam more than those Muslims in the Muslim land. And that is fact, that is true. But what you don't have is the living of Islam, how to feel Islam, how to feel Islam. When you go to even the worst Muslim country in terms of implementing Islam, you will still hear the adhan, you will still see the Muslims celebrating the Ramadan and the Eid and the occasions like these things. And you will see who may fulfill the Amr al-Ma'ruf and Nahy al-Munkar, not as a force, government force, not as people who can advise, who can. But when you live in the non-Muslim lands, you cannot do that. Anyway, the advice is if you can go and live in any Muslim land, that is the best, of course. No any different opinions amongst the scholars. If you cannot, even if it is mandatory upon you, you are not in sin, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in regard to those who are unable to migrate, as what Allah ta'ala said, الذين توفاهم الملائكة ظالمي أنفسهم قالوا فيما كنتم قالوا كنا مستضعفين في الأرض قالوا كنا مستضعفين في الأرض قالوا ألم تكن أرض الله واسعة فتهاجروا فيها So Allah Ta'ala said in the ayah of Surah An-Nisa, indeed those whom the angels take in death while wronging themselves, meaning by staying amongst the kuffar, the angels will say, in what condition were you? They will say, we were oppressed in the land, meaning forced not to, oppressed not to, forced not to fulfill the Islam. The angels say to them, was not the earth of Allah spacious enough for you to immigrate therein? Even so, the best thing is go to a Muslim country, even if it is not your Muslim, even if it is not your country. If you feel poverty, there are countries where with little money you bring from this non-Muslim country, you can make some business, you can make, because they are already poor countries. You can make something, and inshallah, and at the end, the provider is Allah, the sustainer is Allah. If you become sincere with Allah and honest in all your actions and sayings, which is related to your worshipping deeds, then Allah will provide you. Allah Ta'ala said, as in Surah Al-Talaq, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. He whoever fears Allah, then Allah will find him a way to come out of any problems, and will provide him from ways that he never even imagined. Now, wallahu a'lam.
Allah yabarak fik ya Shaykh. The questioner here says, Assalamu alaikum. At the age of 10, I had reached puberty, but I didn't fast as required. I am now 15 and I have realized my mistakes. Should I make up my fasts that I missed out on? Please give your advice.
Yes, definitely. As long as that Ramadan caught you while you are already mature, you have then to make up those days. You have to make up, not necessarily to be enrolled, but you have to make them from now, from today, or from tomorrow, of course. Today is night already. I mean, from tomorrow, even if it is Friday, because this is obligatory fast. Friday, Saturday, whatever, you can fast. Now, and if you repent to Allah, the sin will be removed, but you still have to do what you missed. Now, Allah.
Allah yabarak fik ya Shaykh. Another questioner here. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for the beneficial lesson. I'm 15 and sometimes like to go out with my friends. If I am out and I couldn't find a place to pray and come back in the evening or at night, do I have to pray all the prayers that I missed, or just the night prayers, i.e. the Isha that they come into?
What about the day prayers? Khalas, they gone because the sun already disappeared. It took the prayers with it. First of all, you cannot, under whatsoever circumstances, you cannot delay Salah until the last minute of it is gone. What I mean of it, the two prayers which can be joined, like Dhuhr and Asr. If you couldn't pray Dhuhr until Asr came, then you cannot delay Dhuhr and Asr until night comes. That's not allowed at all. As the Prophet ﷺ said to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, إن لله أعمالا بالليل لا يقبلها بالنهار وإن لله أعمالا بالنهار لا يقبلها بالليل. Indeed, there are duties for Allah in the night that He does not accept it from you in the day. And there are duties for Allah that if you uh, do them yani in the day, if you do them in the night, Allah would not accept it from you. So you cannot leave the prayer, even a single prayer. You cannot leave Dhuhr until Asr comes because you are busy with your friends or whatever, unless if it is real necessity. Yes, you can join between Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha, but not Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. You come and do them in one go. No, that's not the way. Allah Ta'ala said, إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا. Indeed, prayer are designated for believers in specific times. So you have to perform them in their times. In their times. Now, yes, if it is necessity, you can join Dhuhr and Asr, and you can join Maghrib and Isha. But you cannot delay, even with necessity, you cannot delay Dhuhr and Asr until it is Maghrib or after Isha, until you return home. No, that's not possible. And you have to pray as per your situation. If for example, you are in yani, you are in a prison cell and you're crucified, your hands hanged, okay, and you can't even go for wudu, and you have urinated over your clothes now because you are chained, you cannot go, you cannot, and now it is time for Salatu al-Dhuhr. You said, let me wait, maybe they come and allow me to go and clean and change, but they did not come until Asr comes. The ulama said, before Asr, by nearly enough time to pray, you have to pray on your own, uh, on your um, uh, on your situation, on your current situation. You don't wait until the time is passed. Now, and even if you wait until Asr because you can join Dhuhr and Asr, you cannot wait until Asr time is passed. Now, so you have to pray. Wallahu a'lam.
Allah yabarak fik, Sheikh. A questioner says, is it permissible to do your morning and evening adhkar on your fingers the same way you would do your normal adhkar for the tasbih and tahmid and takbir after the salah? So as we count on our fingers, can we also do that for the morning and evening adhkar?
نعم, any adhkar that is يعني in number, yes, you can count them on your finger, whether your nuts or just head of the tips of the fingers. But as Shaykh Albani rahimahullah ta'ala dragged to the attention of some people that it is wrong to use left hand in the count of the adhkar, but on the right hand. You can use the yani count them as you count the tasbih after salah. No problem. Wallahu a'lam.
Just a questioner here from YouTube, Sheikh. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh, an uncle of mine has passed away today due to the current situations with coronavirus. Allah yarhamu. It will not be possible for all the family to perform his janazah salah. Can the other family members perform the janazah salah again after the coronavirus restrictions have been uplifted? So presumably they've already prayed janazah on them, as in some people, but not the whole family has prayed. After the coronavirus, can they pray again on their uncle?
Well, from the hadith of the black woman, we don't find any reason why not, because the Prophet ﷺ, after she was buried, so the Sahaba buried her, he went to the grave of that woman and led the Sahaba behind him, and he prayed the janazah. Some ulama says that it's up to 1 month maximum. But to be honest, what is the proof of that? I myself couldn't find any dalil for that it is only for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. if they did not pray janazah for this person, yes, they can go and pray janazah once the coronavirus uplifted, and people allowed to go and do normal daily life, then they can go and pray janazah on his grave. Wallahu a'lam.
Allah yabarak fik ya Shaykh. A question here says, Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh, may Allah bless you. What advice or guidance should we give to a sister who accepted Islam but was married to a man before she was guided and has children with this non-Muslim man? So what advice do we have for the sister who accepted Islam who's still married to a non-Muslim man? Allah yabarak fik.
Now, this sister who is married before Islam, and she has children of that marriage, and she is still married to the man who is still not Muslim. According to the ayah of Surah Al-Mumtahina, she cannot allow him enjoy her. As Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Mumtahina, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا جاءكم المؤمنات مهاجرات فامتحنوهن الله أعلم بإيمانهم فإن علمتموهن مؤمنات فلا ترجعوهن إلى الكفار لا هن حل لهم ولا هم يحلون لهن وآتوهم ما أنفقوا ولا جناح عليه, to the end of the ayah. So Allah Ta'ala said, "Oh, you believe, when the believing women come to you as migrants, examine, meaning examine their tests, examine them, examine their iman. Allah is most knowing as to their faith. And if you know them to be believers, then do not return them to the disbelievers. They are not, here comes the part of the ayah which is the proof. They are not lawful wives for them, nor are they lawful husbands for them." Now, so what should she do? She should say to him, "Okay, we spend good time together. I will still be your wife if you accept Islam." And there is no need for contract, nothing. They just continue their lives if he accepts Islam. If he refuses, then she has to isolate herself from him and remain the period of 3 menses, and then she can marry. Now, wallahu a'lam.
Allah yabarak fik ya Shaykh. There's a question here that says, presumably this person is in the United States of America. It says, here in the States, we pay taxes to IRS. But if someone still owes IRS taxes, can they still donate money for da'wah efforts to Islamic organizations in need? So if they owe money to IRS, as in they got a debt to the IRS, can they donate money for da'wah efforts to Islamic organizations in need?
If they own the money, if the money is theirs, then yeah, they can. But if the money is not theirs, it's in their hands, but it's not theirs, they should pay it back or give it to the organization or government or whatever. Then no, they cannot contribute that money. They have to give it back. Now, if it is taxes and not paying it is not causing any bad situation to them or to other than them from the Muslims, then no problem. If they can just escape from paying it without making a problem. But if it is going to make problem either to them or to others other than them, and for example, even just bad repetition about Islam, That's not يعني allowed, because the Prophet ﷺ said when he mentioned wula rulers who ask their rights from the people, but they don't give the people their rights. The Prophet ﷺ said, give them their rights and ask Allah to reward you for your right. So, yani you have to do, and remember, the believer is always trustworthy. As the Prophet ﷺ said, أدي الأمانة إلى من ائتمنك ولا تخن من خانك. Give the amana back to the one who saved it with you, and never deceive the one who deceives you. Now, so if it is not going to harm either you or the community or even the reputation of Islam, then no problem. But if it is harming, then no, don't take it and contribute to a masjid, to orphanage, to that. That's not. Do that from your own money. Now, wallahu a'lam.
The sister added, and she said that the money is hers. So the money is hers. It
Then,
doesn't. Then she
if
can.
the money is hers, then khalas, why not?
Jazakallah khair. Shaykh, there's a question here that says, Assalamu alaikum. My grandmother is ill and is unable to fast Ramadan and also unable to afford to feed others. Is it allowed for me to feed others on her behalf?
It is if you ask her permission. If she says, yes, I permit you to yani, feed on my behalf, then that's okay. That's allowed. Now, and likewise, by the way, likewise, similar to that is a wife who has gold jewelry, and the husband wants to pay the zakah on her behalf. Many people think that because he's the husband, no, okay, normally he go and pays without letting her know. That's wrong. Paying the zakah, paying the compensation, paying these things is ibadah itself. It needs an intention from the person who he's supposed to be doing it. And this intention must precede the performance of this ibadah. If it is paying compensation, then she must have the intention in her heart by allowing you, by permitting you to pay it out. Wallahu a'lam.
Allah yabarak fik, ya Shaykh. Just because of the severity of the previous question, in terms of the person who passed away because of this virus, that they are praying the janazah over, as you said. They said, Ya Shaykh, Barakallahu Fik, for answering my previous question. My family have now decided to recite Quran for the person who passed away. Is this permissible, as to finish the whole Quran for them?
Okay. Let me ask a question. Did the Prophet ﷺ, did the Sahaba die? Did the Sahaba die in the lifetime of Rasulullah or not?
Allahumma na'am.
His wife Khadija died. His son Ibrahim died. His two daughters Ruqayya and Kulthum died in his life. Okay, and his uncle Hamza died. Many of the Sahaba died, and he laid them down in the grave. Did he recite Quran? He didn't. Okay, after he Sallallahu passed away, any Sahaba died? Yes. Fatima was the first who died after Rasulullah from the family of Rasulullah. Only 6 months between. Did Ali recite Quran? Did Hassan recite? Did Hussein recite? Did Abu Bakr? Did Umar? Did any of the Sahaba recite for her? Nothing. No one. So why we are doing it today? This is the innovation. Innovation is something done after the time of Rasulullah. He Sallallahu didn't know about it, and people doing it later. So this is the bid'ah, this is the innovation. If you want your deceased relative or dead relative to be benefited, then do as the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا مَاتَ ابْنُ آدَمَ انقطع عمله إلا من ثلاث. صدقة جارية. When the child of Adam dies, all of his deeds meaning the sources of hasanat stopped. No more sources of hasanat. No, no increase in the hasanat or decrease in the sayyat. It is ceased, except three ways. Sadaqah jariyah, whether he has given sadaqah or you give sadaqah on his behalf, or you do sadaqah for him. The second is knowledge. Either he was someone knowledgeable and he spread this knowledge, so the people will continuously convey his knowledge to others and he will be rewarded, or he distributed books, or set up a website where he put the materials from the ulama in it and people benefit. This all benefits him, okay? Or even you can do it on his behalf. You can do it. But not like what people do today. They send messages, say, we want to reach 1,000 people reciting this dua or reciting this ayat for the benefit of the people who died with corona, the people who the martyrs, and here the people who killed here, the people. That's all not permissible, and its innovation is not going to benefit the dead person, but it's going to harm you. Okay, and the third is waladun salihun yad'u lahu, a pious child supplicating for him. You first of all need to work on yourself to be a pious person, because the Prophet ﷺ did not say a child makes dua. No, he said a pious child makes dua for him, makes dua for him. Now you need, as a child, as a relative, as a friend, as a Muslim, you need to work hard on yourself to be pious, so that when you make dua for him, Allah will accept. Comes under this when people go to Mecca for Umrah for themselves, and they are staying there. They say, let me do Umrah for my dead father or my dead mother, or like that. We say this is wrong. If your mother or father or this person already done Umrah, you don't need to do it again for him. You don't need to do it for him. You need to do it for you. So that increases your iman. You become pious. Increases your reward. You become pious. So that when you make dua for him, this will benefit him. This will benefit him. So, as I said, no, don't recite Quran, but recite Quran for yourself to increase your iman. And then make dua for him in your sujood and the times of acceptance of dua. This will benefit him. Wallahu a'lam.
Allah yabarak fik ya Shaykh. There's a question here that says, Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh Mohamed Al-Maaliki. I wanted to ask, is it permissible for us to work in terms of da'wah with the people of Ahlul Bid'ah? So is it permissible for us to work in terms of da'wah with the people of Ahlul Bid'ah?
I will answer this question, but I will give you a closer scenario. Is it allowed to go and work with people who are suffering from coronavirus today? Is it allowed? No, it is not allowed. Why? Because you are going to get the disease. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ said. That's what the Prophet ﷺ said. فِرَّ مِنَ الْمَجْدُومِ فِرَارَكَ مِنَ الْأَسَدِ. Run away from the one who has the skin disease the way you run away from a lion. Now this is someone who has bid'ah. Aren't you afraid that he influenced you? One. Second, you are cooperating to call to what? To his bid'ah, or he is helping you to call to your sunnah? Definitely, you are helping him to spread his bid'ah. by increasing the number of theirs, by uh, showing the lenient people because they trust you. They say he's Salafi, he's a person of knowledge. When they see you with that man, they would say, oh, it's allowed. Oh, that man is good. Not like what others say about him. Nah. And that's why the ulama from the Sahaba time, they warned against sitting to Ahlul Bid'ah or cooperating with them in these in the da'wah issues. That you go and give them da'wah. You go and give them. They are more in need for to be given da'wah than somebody who's drinking khamr, or a woman who is fornicating, or a person who's taking riba, because these are sins, and these are sins, and these people are, they know that they are committing sins, and when you go and speak to them, they say, "Akhi, mashallah, you are a practicing pious brother. Please make dua for us." But this one is doing the bid'ah, taking it a method to come closer to Allah, thinking that this is the right way. So this one is yani more sick, more ill than those disobedience. Because the bid'ah is dangerous. Than we have three levels of sins. We have the shirk, which is the highest. And then we have the sins, as I said, drinking khamor, fornicating, riba, stealing, whatever. These are called sins. They are yani, the lowest. And then we have in the middle the bid'ah. We have the bid'ah. And the bid'ah is much more dangerous than major sins. Why? Because major sins are only in as a disobedience in not adding anything into the deen. But this bid'ah is adding into the deen which Allah said, I have completed it. Allah said, I have completed it, and this person of bid'ah is saying, no, I know better than Allah, I will bring something in. Allah Ta'ala, yani when Allah descended this ayah in Arafah upon the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ said to the Sahaba, didn't I convey, didn't I deliver it to you? They said, yes. He said, oh Allah, witness. So this man who is spreading the bid'ah is saying the Prophet did not deliver the whole message. I have something that he did not deliver and I will deliver. That's bad. That's worse than khamr and this and that. Now, that's why we say, no, don't work with Ahlul Bid'ah. Ya akhi, work by yourself. It's not necessarily to bring too many people. The Prophet ﷺ said to Ali, لَإِنْ يَهْدِيَ اللَّهُ بِكَ رَجُلًا وَاحِدًا. If Allah Ta'ala brings through you one man, would be better for you than the red camels. So work with your own abilities and Allah will bless it. And at the end, you are not responsible. Yani people come to Islam or not, come to Sunnah or not. No. Because the Prophet ﷺ already told us that in the day of resurrection, a prophet will come having no one with him. No one with him. He did not fail to give the da'wah. But Allah did not allow those people whom he sent him to accept the da'wah. So you do your role and don't worry about the people accept or not. Wallahu a'lam.
Allah yabarak fik, ya Shaykh. A question here says, should a beginner read an explanation of a book while studying it with a teacher? So should they read a sharh of a matan or kitab while studying it at the same time with the teacher?
If you are studying, this is the proper way. The proper way of learning the knowledge is to prepare before you come to the class. And preparation means that you look into some different, let's say, for example, you want to study Kitab al-Tawheed with Shaykh Mohamed Ali Aidid. He's a qualified person of knowledge. But now for your benefit, what you need to do is before coming to the class with Shaykh Mohamed Aidid, go and read some explanations of Kitab al-Tawheed. the brief ones, like the one of Sheikh bin Baz, the one of Ibn Qasim, the one of Sheikh Fawzan, and like that. And write down the benefits that you think it's benefit. Okay. And another column, write down doubts that you couldn't understand or it's unclear to you. Then come to the class. The Shaykh will explain and you listen. If he says a benefit which you absorb, you make a tick mark on it. That means your observation is good. If he clarified a doubt from which you had, and he explained it, and it removed, if his explanation removed your doubt from your head, then you make a tick mark. And when he finishes the class, you say, Sheikh, I have some questions. I understood this from that. Is this understanding correct? He may say, yeah. Jazakallah khair. I forgot it. I passed it. Or he may say, no, it's not like that. And he corrected. And then you say, okay, I have some doubts. When I gone through it, I have some doubts. I couldn't understand it. This one I couldn't understand. Then he'll explain. So you go back with high amount of knowledge and firm, and you will never forget it. Wallahu a'lam.
Allah yabarak fik, ya Shaykh. There is a question here. This is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shaykh, may Allah grant you a long life full of good deeds.
Ameen.
How was the schedule of the Salaf during Ramadan? How much sleep would they get?
How much?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Nah. So what was their schedule during Ramadan?
Well, let's ask how much sleep they used to have outside Ramadan. Rasulullah sallallahu you imagine, Rasulullah sallallahu is the head of the Salaf. Okay? And he is the one who Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Fatih, لِيَغْفِرَ لَكَ اللَّهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِن ذَنبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. Allah forgive all of his sins, past and future. But he used to stand long nights until his feet swollen. And Ibn Mas'ud prayed behind him one night. And he said, I was about to do something bad. His companions, Ibn Mas'ud's companions, they asked him, what did you intend to do? He said, I intended to sit and leave the Prophet ﷺ standing, because he recited long surahs in one rak'ah, in one go, recited Al-Baqarah, then he went to An-Nisa, then he returned back to Al-Imran until he finished them three all. Look at that, But anyway, the Salaf in Ramadan, they used to use the time as long as they are able to stay awake. They used to use the time in Quran, nothing else but Quran. All the classes they closed. Imam al-Shafi'i, Imam Malik rahimahullah used to teach hadith in Masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when Ramadan comes, he used to close the book of hadith and he says no classes and he sits to the Quran. You can't understand that by knowing that Imam al-Shafi'i used to recite the Quran in Ramadan 60 times. 60. That means how much time he sleeps? Every day he finishes the Quran twice. That means he doesn't talk to anybody. He just pray and recite Quran. Pray and recite Quran. And he only sleeps when he gets tired. And the Prophet ﷺ used to have a technique, used to have a way of how to sleep before Fajr. If he was praying and then he felt a little bit tired, he used to sleep leaning his head on his hand, on his right hand. He erects hand, elbow to the ground, and then he put his palm of right hand under his head and sleep. Why? Because when you sleep like this, you cannot sleep long. In a short while, your head will collapse and you will wake up. So that's how they used to do. They used to spend long times in recitation of Quran in Ramadan, especially in Ramadan. So that is how the Salaf used to do. They used to sleep only when they need to sleep. and not long sleep. And not long sleep. They just sleep not to enjoy sleeping, just to get some energy to continue. Let me give you an example. You are driving old car like mine, and from Medina to Jeddah, the radiator is old and it's maybe very nearly blocked. So the engine uh, temperature goes high. You have to stop. How long you stop? You don't stop until it becomes very cold. No, you just stop until it goes even just to the middle, and then you run the engine and go. And maybe after half an hour, it goes up, you stop. Just give it some rest and go. And like that. That's how, as the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith of Umar ibn Khattab, where he said, what would I do with the dunya, O Umar? I'm in the dunya like a stranger walking on his destination, and uh, found a tree with a shade, with a shadow, uh, with a shade under it. And so he just laid down in the shade of that tree to get some rest, and then wake up and go and leave it. That's how we need to do. The Salaf did not used to sleep as the way we sleep, on very soft and comfortable mattresses. La, the Prophet ﷺ, Umar, the story of this hadith which I mentioned is that when Rasulullah abandoned his wives, all 9 wives, and he stayed in the upper room alone, and he stayed there for a month. Umar ibn Khattab one day came to see him, and he said, I will make him smile. So he came, but he found Rasulullah laying on a carpet made of the palm tree leaves. That when Rasulullah sat down, Umar saw the mark of the carpet on his side, carpet made of the palm tree leaves. Umar was sorry. He said, Ya Rasulullah, why shouldn't you inform us so we bring you something to lay down, like mattress, like something soft? And he said to him, the kings of the Persians and the Romans are sleeping on very soft things, and you, Rasulullah, are sleeping on this rough carpet. He, Rasulullah, said to Umar, Ya Umar, meaning you went far away, Umar. You went far away. He said, what would I do with the dunya? Me and the dunya is like a stranger passed by a tree which has a shade underneath it, and then he rested for a while, and then he left. That's how they used to do. Their aim, their worry is the akhirah, not like us. Our worry is the dunya. They did not use to worry about food or sleep or rest. No. They used to worry about how to worship and how much worship they can do. Because we are here only for worship. Only for worship. But us, Allah understand, we are very weak. I'm the weakest amongst you guys. But it doesn't mean that I don't advise myself and you too. May Allah Ta'ala give us the strength in worship, and may Allah Ta'ala remove the love of dunya from our hearts.
Ameen, Ya Rab. Ameen. Shaykh, a question here from YouTube says, are there difference of opinions on khuruj and making takfir? Are there any difference of opinions on khuruj and making takfir? Barakallahu feek.
طيب. Let's assume there is different opinions. Rasulullah ﷺ is saying that al-khawarij kilabun nar. Al-khawarij kilabun nar. So what is the value of the opinion that says khuruj is permissible? What is the value of that saying? Rasulullah ﷺ is saying that if I see the khawarij, I will kill them the way Thamud and Ad were killed, meaning all, no mercy, no one is exempted. Isa said to the believers, if you see the Khawarij, kill them. And he said, if they kill any one of you, the one who is killed is a martyr. And he said, any one of them is killed, they are the worst of those who've been killed under the heavens. So all these from Rasulullah, and we still say that there is different opinions. لا أخي. They say إذا جاء نهر الله بطل نهر معقل. When the river of Allah comes, the river of Ma'qil is not looked to. And as the Imams, all the four Imams, and other than the four Imams, they all said statements, different wording, same meaning. Same meaning. Imam Shafi'i said, if I say something and you find Rasulullah saying something else, then take my statement and throw it to the wall. Throw it to the wall. Imam Malik said, everyone, his statement can be accepted, can be rejected, except the one who is buried in this grave, and he appointed to the grave of Rasulullah. Imam Ahmad said, don't imitate me, nor Shafi'i, nor Malik, nor Al-Awza'i, nor Al-Thawri, but take from where we took, meaning from the hadith. Even Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, said, whenever the hadith is found authentic, then it is my madhab. And it is my madhab. So there is no value for the statement of anybody, even Abu Bakr and Umar, if it goes against what Rasulullah said. Because he's the only one who is perfect. As Allah Ta'ala said, وَمَا يَنطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. He's the only one who does not speak except by the revelation. Wallahu a'lam. Should we stop here?
كما تريد يا شيخ، نحن تحت أمرك.
الله يحفظك. لأن الآن الساعة. طيب كل يوم نأخذ شوية إن شاء الله. طيب. حفظكم الله.
أحسن الله عليك.
جزاكم الله خيرا وأحسن الله إليكم جميعا، وإن شاء الله we'll see you tomorrow بإذن الله تعالى. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.